Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you an alternative way to create a mask to delete the background and also to select my skin tone so we can change that to a different color. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over here to underneath our swatches. We have this edit in QuickMask mode here. So it's right underneath the swatches. So when I select that, I have black and white. So what I'm going to do is double click it, and I'm going to choose selected areas. The color I'm going to paint with is a red at a 50% opacity, and that's good so I can see through it while I'm painting. So I'll choose selected areas, say OK. Then I'll come over and select my brush tool. That's B on the keyboard. So I get my brush tool. And right now, I'll leave the flow at 100% for both of these. So I have a smaller brush. To make the brush larger, I could come over here. Let's see which one of these. To the 5 point here and make my size larger and work with this. That's one way to do it, but I like to do it on the fly, make it larger and smaller. So actually I'm going to do the background behind myself first, get rid of that, and then I'll work on my skin tone. So to make the brush larger, I'm going to hit the bracket keys. The bracket keys are located to the right of the letter P. The smaller brush are the left brackets. So if I click it, my brush becomes smaller. If I click on the right bracket, it becomes larger. So that might be a good size. I'm also going to zoom up. And to zoom up here, I'm going to do Control on the piece on the Windows, Control plus. So I push up, and it looks pretty good there. Could go tighter. It's a little much. So I'll hit Control negative to come back a little bit. Hold my space bar. I get that hand icon. So hitting your space bar, you can move this around to see where you want to work. Now I'm using a mouse, so that works okay for me doing this. So going right here, I got a tight little area in here. So actually, I will zoom up on that. Use my space bar to get my hand, and I want to do that. So that's a little tight. So what I'm going to do is make my brush a little smaller in here, and I'll start. Make sure my QuickMask mode is indented. You can see that it has a darker color. That means it's pressed in. My brush is set, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to start painting with this red. And move up here, try to go. I have a little bit of overlap. I'll show you how we can kind of work with their edge also. Trying to come down here. I'll go over that little bit of hair sticking out there. So when you start with dealing with hair, you get some different things going on. I'm going to come around the glasses. I took this selfie to show my wife a new pair of glasses I was thinking of getting. Didn't buy them. But it was kind of the idea. So now I have this. See, the name is still on the glass. But I'm going on. I want to keep the frame, but I'm going to delete what is behind this here. So what this is doing is going to make a mask, and everything that is painted in this red color will eventually get selected and then deleted. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop this after I come around the glasses here, just so you don't have to watch me paint this all out. But I'm going to go around. I'm changing my brush size by using my bracket keys. Okay, so now what I've done is outlined all around my hair, my face, through the glasses, along the shirt, back side of the head here. So outline there, outline the outside edges of the frame. And so I don't have to fill this all in. I've been using the brush tool, different sizes, using my bracket keys, which are located to the right of the P key, the letter P. So I got that. So now I'll use my paint bucket to fill it. The paint bucket is located here. It is by default underneath the gradient tool. You get that little black arrow there. So if I pull out, I have my paint bucket tool. So with that, I'm going to fill in here and come over here to this side, fill it in, and I'm going to fill in here. Now, because I was using my paintbrush, I'm getting a soft edge and I'm getting this white halo effect going on. So I want to fill that in. So this time I'm going to switch over to my pencil tool. The pencil tool will give me a hard edge, and I can make this a little larger again using my bracket keys. So pencil tool, I'm using the bracket keys, they're getting a little larger here. And on these edges, these are easier to fill. I'm going to click here, come down here, hold my shift key, and click. Fill that in, come up here again, click there, come over to this corner, hold the shift key, and to fill, oh, cut off my hair, so I'm going to control Z on that. I'll go from here to there, and then from there to there. Come down to this corner, come over here, and then I'll fill it in, just being careful not to, because there's no feather on a pencil, so it's just painted in straight color with no soft edge. That's the pencil tool. So I just want to be careful going around here. Maybe make the brush a little smaller. Zoom up on that just to get a better look at it. And so I'll go out and take this out. So again, you don't need to watch me do all this, but go right there. Just starting to stay away from the skin there. Okay, so I came back and I filled everything in, went back over with the pencil tool and took all there. So the idea is everything that's painted in red in this QuickMask mode is going to be selected, and then I could delete it out. So to do that, I'm going to come over to my edit in QuickMask mode. It should hover over there, and it's going to go edit in standard mode. So I'm going to exit the QuickMask mode and go back to the standard working mode. So I'll click on this. And you see I get the dotted line that's showing me that everything that was painted red is selected in here. It goes up to the top edge up here. So all that's selected in a second. So what I want to do is unlock my mask here. So I'll click on the lock and it unlocked that. I'm going to duplicate this layer just so I have the original to fall back on. So with that selected, I'm going to right click, delete the layer, and I'm going to call it TW copy, and I'm going to say OK. So that's copied. I'll turn this one off and I'll zoom out so I can see the whole image. And one quick way of doing that is to hit the Control-0 key or Command-0 on the Mac, and I zoom out, see my whole image. And then I'm going to just hit the delete key on the keyboard. And we took that out. And then we can kind of see what kind of artifacts are left behind by creating a new layer. So I'll come to this layer here, come down to the bottom, create a new layer. So I created this new layer. I'm going to fill that layer. No, I'll fill it. Let's try white just to see right now. Edit. Fill, and I'll choose contents white, and I get that by hitting this arrow to make sure it fills it white. And before, I'm going to hit cancel. I want to turn off the selection, so I'm going to go deselect. Then, so it's going to fill the whole area white, not just the selected area. I want this whole card, colored card, I call that, to be filled white. So edit, fill, contents white, say OK, and there we go. So now I can see I have some little artifacts there, but I'll get those with my eraser. So I'll zoom up with the Command+, come up here, and I have these little bits here, so I'll come to my eraser tool, and I'm going to set that to pencil. So again, by setting it to pencil, it's going to be a hard edge. If I say in brush, it gives me a soft edge. So I want to make sure I get all these are left over because I was using the brush tool. So by making a little bit, okay, wrong one, Command Z, I'll make sure I have this layer selected, and then I can take them out. So I can look at that, fine tune some things. Now I have to be careful here. So if I'm going to do the shirt, I probably want to be my brush tool because I don't want that to have a hard edge. I want to get this with the hard edge. I might come back. Let's do Command Z twice. So I'm going to take out these extra stuff. If I want to come in and get that, I am going to switch back to my brush tool because then I'll have a hard edge on the shirt. And I want the edge of the shirt itself to have a soft edge. And the brush tool will give me that. The brush tool, even if I'm using the eraser. But for this stuff here, I want to make sure I'm getting it all. Okay, so what I'll do is come over I'll still use my pencil, my eraser, but I'm going to switch up here to brush. And then as I do it, it's going to give me a little bit of a softer edge. It's not that visible there. I did make that smoother, so let's do a Command Z on that, or Control Z. And I hit the Alt key, Control, Alt Z will step back more than one time. So maybe I'll make the flow a little bit less. Now if you make these changes to your pressure of your brush, remember that you will have to come back and fix them if you don't want that later. So just kind of taking that, maybe take that flow down a little more. Got it a little bit. Where was I in the glasses here? Add a little. Now, since I'm here, I want to try to get rid of that black. That was the name of the glasses that were left over on there. Let's see over here. Make this really small. I'm using my bracket keys. And for this, I'm going to try my spot healing brush. So spot healing brush tool is a little band-aid looking icon here. And if I come over here and paint over that, it didn't work so good there. Let's see, we'll do that. Too bad. Okay, so I do have that little black. So now I'll switch back to my eraser tool, hit the E key on my keyboard. Make that brush a little bigger. So I'm going to just get some edge of that brush and come in there and try to delete that out without reshaping too much. That could be okay. Get rid of some nose hairs. Okay, I'll leave those alone. But I can fix this little spot here. Back to my spot healing brush. There we go. So let's zoom out again by hitting Control 0, Command 0. So that's pretty good. So I can put a background behind it, and then I can work on doing my facial features.